Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to the Black Mirror. So, this game is incredibly short on the number of puzzles. And it is incredibly terrible and unfortunate that I had to use a walkthrough and cheat. Apparently, the colors and what I would think the colors are don't match at all. Also, apparently my mnemonic for remembering the planets is not correct, so that just goes to show what I know about astronomy. So I wasn't even in the right order to put the planets. But if everything is set right, this is the solution, which means this is Mercury, this is Venus, this is Earth, there is no moon, this is Mars, this is Jupiter, this is Saturn, this is Neptune, which I totally forgot about in my mnemonic, and this is Uranus, and this should be Pluto. That really sucks that I had to cheat to do that, considering this is only really the second puzzle in the entire game. That is not fun to have to cheat when there's so little gameplay. So we've got his key. We can move forward. And rather prematurely late. No, not prematurely late. You can't be prematurely late. Rather excessively late. I'm on the verge of finishing the first chapter in this game. There's still a lot to do, but hopefully we can be on a better path. Otherwise, it's been rough, and it's only going to get rougher at this rate. It's probably been 4 or 5 hours, so if it's a 3-act game and it's a 15-hour game is what I've heard, that would make sense. And if somebody had played this game before, they would pretty much breeze through it. Although there still may be a lot of elements that require you to just wander around to talk to people to make sure the conversations have triggered. This would be kind of a hard game to speed run because of all of the conversation triggers you'd have to memorize. So we're gonna finally make some progress. We have all of this junk and not much of it has mattered one bit. It'd be nice if we kind of lost half of our inventory at chapter 2 to just keep things nice and tidy, but we'll see.
I left William's key on the other side of the door. The lock must have gotten stuck.
So, I've suggested that the game should lock you in rooms a little bit more often to make it obvious you're supposed to stay in a room, but now that they've done it, it's kind of awkward. Let's look at the massive chest.
The lid is locked.
So, if that's the case,
The lid is locked.
we're going to have to find the key. Let's look at the chessboard. Who is he playing chess with?
The black rook is missing.
The black rook. Let's look in this chest. Why would you leave the window open? That's an interesting question.
The lid won't move.
Like, first of all, wouldn't this be an active crime scene? So blocking off is probably be illegal anyways. But maybe nobody's investigating anything. What's in the drawer? A book.
This title makes no sense. I'll have a closer look.
What was the book?
There's a small key inside the book. The pages have been cropped so as to hide it. I'll take it.
The pages had been cut, I suppose, to have the key in the middle of it, is what they're implying there. Not that the pages have been folded on the edges to give them more thickness. Some parchments.
Several scrolls scribbled over with notes. There isn't anything useful on them.
And it doesn't seem like the game has any interest in making me walk over this way, at least right now. Why would you even want to work in a tower like this? It seems like it's the furthest away from everything else. Maybe you just want that pure isolation. So key, try it in this chest. And then try it in this chest. Apparently it worked that time. We're getting some background sound.
It's cold to the touch.
We have a black sphere. We have a globe.
A globe and a sextant. What will you need all this for?
Good question. Is this some kind of ley lines? Is there anything else in this image? Or is it just those two things, the globe and this? Maybe you can magically move the castle. Open the roll top desk. And we got some parchments.
Scrolls and papers, but none with William's writing. He must have been recording the important notes somewhere.
Scrolls are a little out of sorts here. It's like you're talking about really, really old information at that point. Music box. It's playing music. And until the song's done, I can't do anything. That was kind of long.
I've heard that melody somewhere before.
See, there's a lot of wax seals on these scrolls that makes it seem like there might be a jewel or something of interest, when not really the case. Doesn't seem like there's anything more. Let's see.
As though I've heard that melody somewhere before.
The music box, maybe on the chest.
It's strange to the touch.
Put this on the chest.
The lid won't move.
Some maps.
Astrological maps. William admired the stars and space. I don't think these can help me though.
So we are in a pixel hunt section, but at least we know that's what we've got to do. There's a drawer in the roll top desk again. There's nothing on the chest. Can't open the door.
The door won't move a bit.
There's not like the old trick of putting newspaper under here and then pushing the key out. Nothing like that, it seems. Can't do anything with the skull. And just slowly looking. The fact that you can go back into this seems odd. It suggests something is here. Maybe a false top. But all I'm seeing is the back button. And I'm thinking maybe there would be something. Clearly, you wouldn't be able to get into this area with while still needing the rest of the strange object. That doesn't make it. That would be unfair of the game. And this game is already a little rage-inducing for its incredible slowness. Again, this game could be helpful. Could be a lot more helpful. Ah, chess piece. There we go. Putting the chess piece in the right place might prove interesting. There's a small knife in it. Maybe use that. So there's a small knife. Do you use it with multiple things? Or do you use it with the door?
I'll try to push the latch open. Success. I need to explore William's study thoroughly. The lid won't move.
So that's interesting. We opened the door, and that opens the figurative door of somebody coming in and pushing me out the window or something. What we're still looking for is, I guess, hidden notes. And there's a lot of things on the desk, so maybe one small thing on the desk is aligned with that. Otherwise,
as though I've heard that melody somewhere before.
I have no idea.
The lid won't move.
And using the knife to try to move the chest seems to do nothing. Maybe we use the knife in a couple different places. Well, no, because the problem with that idea is there would still need to be something to click on and interact with. And we're so close. We are so close to being finished with chapter 1. And if I'm not careful, I'm gonna spend the rest of this episode just looking for it and end up right back at the walkthrough. At a certain point, I have to start questioning if I beat any point-and-click adventure game, or many of them, without looking at walkthroughs in the first attempts.
I'm not interested in them at the moment.
I suppose that is a possibility, that I did have to get help in almost every single point-and-click adventure game. And then, since most of the ones I've covered up to this point are ones I've played before, I'm simply looking smarter than I actually was. Or I actually am.
The lid won't move.
Unless you're supposed to use the coin. Each item seems to have its own sound effect. I think I've missed something. That would be my guess. Is there's some item to click on, something else in this area. The chess pieces in particular seem to be
I need to explore William's study thoroughly.
and see, they won't let me leave, so I know it is here. Perhaps there's some secret. This looks like something. Perhaps each one of these circles might be something to click on. And I'm clicking even before it indicates. If there was a way to close the roll top. There really is just nothing here.
The lid won't move.
The lid won't move.
The lid won't.
And I wish I had more information.
It's strange to the touch. As though I've heard that melody somewhere before.
And you can't look at that because it alternates it.
A gold pocket watch. Beautiful handiwork. Whatever it is, it seems incomplete. Now it works as it should.
And we've done,
A common metal coin.
I think we've right-clicked everything.
There's quite a lot of money in it.
Unless I'm supposed to take a
I
pill.
often have headaches these days. I'd better keep them.
Unless,
William's mourning card. I can't leave now.
so yeah, I've right-clicked on everything.
As though
4 items to interact with seems like a decent amount. But it's not working. And have we had any kind of bug or anything?
The lid won't move.
There's nothing to do with this mask, nothing to do with this cross. There is this massive chest. And then there's just a camera coming through this window. And it just seems like I would start to wonder if the game is just not bugged. But really, it's probably just too difficult. It's just too much hunting and pecking with the mouse. Some tiny bit of framework and or tiny little thing. Like you can't put things back. So if the game was so cruel that you just lose and it wouldn't even tell you because you took something you shouldn't have taken, I don't want to play a game like that. But I don't think that's really the case here. Does this, like, how could it fit when there's no interact spot? And right clicking on the massive chest does nothing. And right clicking on the chest does nothing. And trying to see if maybe the skull or maybe a book on top of it was the right thing. Roll top desk. How small would they go? It's not been a really terrible example of a game that just has really small things to click on, but it has been pretty bad about having things that are just not obvious. This room looks very natural. Nothing's really standing out as extremely different, and because of that, there's no help. The lid won't move. And the fact that I can just randomly move between different things allows for this ADD situation where your attention just isn't locked into anything. I can consistently try different things. What would open this chest?
The lid won't
So the opportunity to constantly switch what you're looking at and never focus becomes a problem. You'd think that piece of paper would matter. Think any of this would matter. And I think I would prefer if I could move things. Like, just turn a key, move some things. Do I have a lighter? Like, even if I had that, that would be interesting. We really are just on a pixel hunt. Just, where's that one thing? And I imagine some people have already seen it. Where I've missed it completely. There were no resolution settings, by the way, in this game, so it's adjusting. Well, I think there were no resolution games. If there were, and they let me set the resolution so high that I can't possibly see what they wanted me to see, that's still the game's fault, really. All of this seems like it could be rife with secret compartments. I mean, clearly it seems like some of these things are secret compartments, and yet nothing. Nothing to interact with at all. Maybe we just are supposed to click on this really fast. Hmm.
The lid won't move. The lid won't move. The lid won't move.
The knife doesn't work. This doesn't work. Walking, I don't know why I walked over here. Small piece of paper. Oh, this sucks. This sucks so bad. And see, this game has a trilogy. It's supposed to be good. And, well, I guess just because you make 3 of them and convince people to buy it doesn't mean the game is inherently going to be good, but every time this game puts anything in the way as far as actual gameplay, it is such a pixel hunt, or it is such a moon logic puzzle, or it's just not helping the player understand what it wants or how it works. I'll admit that I should have known the names of the planets in the order, but to have to know the sizes of the planets in order is asking a lot. Like, I'm not gonna say this is a kid's game. It almost certainly isn't. I mean, it's way too long and way too boring to be a kid's game. Let's face it. But
A book has been pinned to the bottom side of the drawer. Diary of William Gordon. William's diary. Excellent.
You had to right-click it, which again is
Hopefully, Tom, you know what happened that night.
problematic for this game.
March 21st. I'm old.
I know my time is drawing in, and that is why I want to put some sense into my life before I leave this world. I have contributed my last years to looking for the truth about my family and the blood that runs in my veins. Maybe it is also because of the guilt that I bear in my heart for the fate of my dear James. The fate that I didn't have the courage to change. After all the years spent with the old Jones, I know at last what the goal of my search is. I must not lose time. March 23rd. In the chronicle of the manor and the old records in the library, I have learned things that were forgotten and much that is new. I learned that James is not the only one to have lost full control of his mind. Throughout the centuries, several of my blood ancestors have suffered from the same affliction that now curses James. It seems as though it is all somehow correlated, has a perverse purpose of some kind. I traced the family line and learned that every one of those poor souls had been born in the same week, repeating with a period of 2 centuries. Is the madness supposed to be punishment of some sort? A punishment for deeds so horrible that we have not been pardoned, even after 700 years? I am terrified by this idea. It follows me now, day and night. April 5th. I feel something is not right with me. I am weaker from day to day. My age has caught up with me at last. As the chronicle foretells, the way to revealing the truth is through 5 symbolic keys. I don't exactly know what their purpose is, but if they can lead me to the truth, I must obtain them. I have decided to pursue first the ones that have been carried over time far from my manor. Centuries ago, the keys were given to different men of our family for safekeeping, so that they couldn't be used together. Luckily, I still have my own with me, and obtaining James's key should not be difficult. If only I had known before what I know today, I would not have given it to him. The next one must be in the hands of Marcus himself, according to the records. The 4th one was given to Durgan Gordon, the original owner of the remote manor in Wales. I must set off for Wales soon. That is certain. I still do not know where the 5th key is. Its origin eludes me in the many years of the past. When I obtain the other ones, I must find this last one too. April 15th. I have returned from Wales. My searching was futile. It was not easy to get into the family tomb. Unfortunately, I failed to reveal the next fragment of truth, and returned home empty-handed. Not all hope is lost, however. I will focus on the keys that James and Marcus possess. It should not be hard to obtain them. April 21st. I cannot change what has happened in the past of my ancestors, but I hope I can influence the events of the future. The curse that has plagued our family must be of dateless origin. It must stretch into times as distant as those of Marcus and Mordred, the first Gordons. I have decided to start looking for answers at the place where the body of Marcus rests. I know that the tomb is concealed in the dark underground of the path.
This is a lot of text.
Has long been lost in forgetfulness. No one knows where to begin to look for it. I will set off for the vicarage tonight, April 26th. Whatever it is that is buried underneath Worm Hill, it is not easily within reach. It took me several days before I discovered an extraordinary pedestal with numerous tiny and meticulously shaped stones in the belfry. The whole pedestal is a complex mechanical lock. Surely it will open the way to the church's underground for me. I tried to change the positions of the opposite stones, but it was beyond my will to fully concentrate. I was too tired to attempt to set up the mechanism properly. Before I left for home, I made a drawing of the whole mechanism and returned the stones to their original configuration. Tomorrow I will go to Warm Hill as early as possible. April 27th. Luck was on my side today. I opened the way leading to the tomb of Marcus. Surely, I'm the first one in centuries to have succeeded in doing so. How great was my surprise when I descended into the tomb. There was not a trace of Marcus's grave. Nothing. His body must be hidden somewhere. I hope that the answer lies in the 4 books surrounding the center of the tomb. Shall wisdom be your way? Writes an old text carved in stone. Even after his death, wisdom protects Marcus as it has in his life. I am almost positive that the first answer is map. Despite the darkness, I tried to write down the text from the books, but it was easier to memorize it. I also found it extraordinary. In all probability, a ceremonial object in the shape of a perfect sphere. When I touched it, it was as though whole long centuries breathed on me. Not feeling. May 7th. I am afraid of this night. I have not slept for 2 days now.
It's still going.
Yes, human voices. There are dozens of them. Their whispering is melting my ears into a sea of horrifying noise. What's happening with me? Am I mad too? No, I repudiate that, now that I am so close to the truth.
It didn't really need to read all of that out right now. Clearly there's multiple puzzles here that we're kind of getting hints, if not complete solutions to. And man, that's just a lot of text, a lot of dialogue. And it looks like we're not going to trigger anything yet, so maybe something will happen once we walk out of the room. I don't think there's a real reason to have 10 slots, but that does also mean that we have now been playing for 5 hours at least. And that would be right in line for a 15-hour game, but how they're getting to 15 hours is not in a good way. I don't get it. I really don't get it. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.